I met a wonderful person. This gentleman has radically transformed his life with mindset shift and comes from a really interesting background, arena, energetic orientation, reorienting, and all of that. And so I thought, who better could we get to come and talk to you all and help you with that you're going to need to make than this wonderful, wonderful man. Please put your hands together for Abraham Heisler. Woo!
Thank you.
Hi there, sweetie. I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad you're here.
Melissa, thank you so much.
And I'm going to turn the stage over to him so he can take you through some change and transformation. Take it away,
Thank
Abe.
you, Melissa. Everybody, a round of applause for Melissa. I mean, of course, you're going to be giving her many rounds this weekend. It is amazing to be here. Absolutely amazing. How are you guys doing? Yeah? So, just real quick, I held up a bunch of fingers when she asked how many careers. One of my careers, years ago, lifetimes ago, was a hip-hop MC in New York City. So I need to feel you guys. How you doing? That feels a little better. I feel a little more at home. It feels amazing to be here. And I actually just recently heard about Play Big. And immediately I was drawn just by the title alone. Play Big, those two words have really been the theme of my life for the last year. For the last few years leading up to this last year, but this last year, 2017 in particular, I have been through some incredible life-changing, life-transformative processes that I want to tell you guys about. And does that sound good? You guys open to hear that? Yeah? And I think it's great. I was just telling Melissa about it because Melissa, introduced the idea today that what you're going to feel, I mean, we're all here to play big. And if you're playing big, if you really want to play big, you have to be ready for what? Change, action, what else? Huh? Opportunity. Everybody's saying, oh, the good stuff. Uncomfortability, yes. Discomfort. Discomfort. I have some good news, bad news, whatever you want to call it. Change sucks. It really does. It really does. We want it. Actually, we need it. We must change. I mean, it's the law of the universe, right? Melissa mentioned that my background is in yoga, meditation. I might not be that old, but I've been meditating my life for the last 20 years. And so, contemplating the mind, contemplating the universe, one thing I know for certain is that change is inevitable. It's the law of the universe, right? Here today, gone tomorrow. Kind of like my bank account, or the way it used to be. And yet, it's also very hard, right? Change is not easy. Why? Why is change difficult? And actually, let me introduce a distinction here. I'm talking about change to you guys in the sense of my last year and you guys are now embarking upon this journey. What I really mean is transformation. You guys feel that? Yeah, there's a slight difference. You guys know what I'm talking about? Change is natural. Change is going to happen. We're all going to change. I'm not going to look this way forever. Maybe another year or two. My hair is already falling out, but whatever hair is left is going to get gray, right? It's going to change. However, transformation is something different altogether. Okay? It's kind of like when a caterpillar enters into the cocoon. What happens? It comes out better. Yeah. Different. Completely transfigured. Transformed. And it comes out in such a way that it creates beauty in the world, right? It's part of its evolution. And the Eastern philosophy, we'd call it dharma, which basically means nature, right? It's the nature of the caterpillar to transform into the butterfly. But, however, inside that cocoon, inside that chrysalis, what do you think is going on? It's dying. Its old self is dying. these things called imaginal cells. Have you guys heard of imaginal cells? It's a beautiful, beautiful metaphor, right? That basically the cells, I worked with a biologist named Dr. Bruce Lipton. Has anybody ever heard of Bruce Lipton? The biology, I believe. He's amazing. He's wonderful. We did a film project because my previous incarnation was a filmmaker. We did a film project called The Evolution of the Butterfly. And it's all about how a butterfly goes through transformation and how when the system starts to break down, these new cells, these cells with this blueprint of a new life come together and create something new. And that new entity is that butterfly. And yet, it is a painful process. It's not an easy process. This process of transformation is the process that Melissa is talking about, that I'm talking about, that we're talking about. It's the process of going from an average life or a life that is good enough, let's say, right? You know that term, right? Oh, how's things? Yeah, it's kind of like Larry David, right? Right? Good enough, right? Most people stop at good enough, right? Most people don't get through that door because good enough is good enough. How many here want good enough? No? Nobody? Okay. All right. Then I think you're in the right place. You want something a little more, maybe a lot more, right? I know I did. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, my story. So, as Melissa mentioned, my background is in yoga, meditation. I, for many years, actually contemplated becoming a yogic monk, a renunciate, and dedicating my life and my path towards teaching yoga and meditation, doing service and selfless service. Up until a year ago, I was actually living with yogic monks, sleeping on the floor, living on a very, very, very small salary. Why? Because it was good enough, right? It's not to say there was anything wrong with what I was doing. Actually, for a long period of my life, it served me. I was very happy, living very simple. And then I reached a point where that all of a sudden didn't serve me anymore. I, started to lose inspiration. I started to lose my passion about what I was doing. I was doing really cool stuff. Film, working with Bruce Lipton, teaching at the New York Film Academy nearby here. And yet, something inside of me wanted more. I wanted more. You see, my goal, my passion in life is to inspire people. Is anybody feeling a little bit inspired yet? Okay, good. I'm moving in the right direction. That's good. I want to inspire people, and not just one or two people. I love you guys. This is a great group. And yet, my goal in life is to inspire 1 billion people. That's a lot of people. I need to do more than what I have been doing. I knew that a year ago. I have to do more than what I am doing right now in order to achieve my goal. And so I decided to do something really crazy. I decided to become a life coach. And I had no idea how to go about it, right? People always told me, oh, Abe, I love talking with you. I love working with you. I also knew that, being a storyteller from film, I also knew the power of story. And Melissa, introduced me by talking about mindset. And I didn't know it at the time, but I knew that stories can control our decisions, our decision-making process. And so I went through a training and realized that, all the stuff I've been studying all my life about the mind, about storytelling, translates into a coaching context by working with somebody one-on-one and helping people to move past any sort of limiting belief so that they can actually go out and achieve their goal, right? And yet I didn't quite know how to set up my business. I didn't know what to do. So I did something I had never done before. Can you guys guess what that is? I asked for help. I asked for help. Now, one, it's not easy for guys to ask for help. we barely ask for directions, right? And, help with my business, help with my life. How can I actually go outside my comfort zone in that way and actually ask for help? And you know what? That is one of the most important traits of being a success story, is being able to ask for help. Putting your ego aside and just saying, look, I actually don't know how to do this. Can somebody please help me? And see, I don't really, I'm preaching to the choir here, because you guys are all here because you know what you want and you know that you want help. And so I asked a friend of mine who was a very successful life coach. I asked her to support me. And so one thing that she encouraged me to do was to quit my job, where I was earning very little, and move out from staying with the monks, even though I loved waking up at 4:45 in the morning, and move to the part of town that I wanted to move to. I was also falling in love at the time with my now wife, Soraya, who you'll meet because she'll be here all weekend. We actually met just a few blocks away from here. And so I'd quit my job, I moved out, and I moved into an apartment that was now worth, basically I was responsible for 3 times the rent with 0 income and a new business. And so I did all of this. And talk about discomfort, right? The nights that I spent waking up in the middle of the night, cold sweats, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna make it work? How is this, where are the people gonna come from? What's gonna happen, right? The one thing I want you guys to walk away from this talk with is a sense of trust. Trust in the universe, trust in yourself. And I'll come back to that in a second. Within 1 month, I had the highest income earning month in my entire life. 1 month. 1 month. From there, I went on and put one foot in front of the other and was able to build a 6-figure business in 1 year. After 10, 15 years of living off of about, 30, 35 grand a year. Being able to go from there and go to a place where that is now the monthly norm, okay? Now, I'm one of the people who raised his hands when Melissa asked who's in it for the money, who's in it for something else. For me, it's about inspiration, like I said before. That is my number one. My number one is to inspire people. And yet, making money does feel freaking good. Nothing more inspiring than being successful in your business. Because you know what, guys? I've been coaching for 20 years. I just started charging for 1 year. All right? Before then, I was a volunteer. How many people here are professional volunteers? Anybody? Yeah, sure. I am you. I was you. I was you. And I recognized that I had various stories that were controlling my money story. And I'm much in this same boat. People who have a story that money is either A, evil, anybody know that story? Or money is not spiritual, it's too material, and I don't want to get caught up in materiality, right? Or the third one, shame. Shame around money. This is the one that is very difficult to talk about. This comes from when I was a kid and I used to try to sell comic books and then, got into some back alley deal that went sour. I was only 10 years old. But I stole my brother's comic books. I tried to sell them. It didn't work, and I got shamed for it. And I went into shame for pretty much 25 years of my life. I was in shame around money. And it took some serious work. It took that discomfort. It took that process of transformation to transform my belief about myself, that I could be a person who's now up on stage at a conference called Play Big, inspiring other creative entrepreneurs to go out and to be successful. I mean, forget it. I was the yogi. I was the, My father calls me the communist Jew yogi. Not anymore. When he found out that I'm looking for a house in Brentwood Heights in the hills, he said, holy, you know the next part. Why? Because it breaks his expectation of who his son is. I mean, I didn't even tell him about the Tesla. One step at a time. One step at a time. But the point, listen, the point here is that, you know, that experience also with my father was not necessarily a comfortable one. I mean, you would think that he would be proud of me. And yes, he is. You know, I have a great relationship with my father, but saying that to him, I had hesitation. I had hesitancy because I was breaking that idea of who I am to him, right? The expectation that he has of me. And that's what happens when we play big, is that we actually step outside the role that we're used to playing for ourselves, for our family, for our community. And it is very destabilizing. It is a very uncomfortable process. And so to have somebody who can help guide you through that process it's not only important, it's essential. It's absolutely essential. You know, I heard somewhere that the best coaches were once nurses because they know how to handle someone in pain. And I made a decision very early on. Somebody asked me recently, what is transformational? Why are you transformational life coach? Why not just plain life coach? I made a decision very early on that the work that I wanted to do with people wasn't casual. It wasn't, you know, I'll hold your hand, I'll tell you it'll be all right. I mean, we all need that from time to time. We all need a pat on the back. I want to do the work with people, and I do the work with people that is ugly. That is like poo on the walls, you know, and dribble coming out of your mouth because it is just gruesome. It is the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. All right? It's that soupy substance, that nasty goo that is the imaginal cells that are coming together to create that butterfly. So the last thing I just want to leave you guys with is that, and again, this comes from the yoga, the meditation background, is that, you know, a little mindset piece that you can use. My coach's coach likes to say that the evidence that your dream is possible and that it can be realized is based in one thing, and that's your desire. Okay, so what that means is that because you have a desire to create a change for yourself, for your community, you want to solve some problem in the world, that alone should be enough to know that the means to accomplish that desire are available. Does that make sense to people? Yeah? So your desire alone is the guiding factor. You know, Nietzsche said, a man with a why doesn't need a how. Does that make sense? Yeah? So I want to take that one step further. And I want to tell you this last thing. And for this last thing, I want you to, you know, you guys have been filling out your worksheets all day. I want you to fill something out in your head right now. I'm going to say a word, and the word is spirit. And what I want you to do is I want you to take that word and in your head, I want you to fill in the blank. God, source, energy, universe, life, whatever your cocktail is, I don't care. All right? It's all the same thing to me. But what I want to tell you is this, is that your desire for your life and for your business isn't your desire alone. It's the desire of spirit. It's the desire of the universe manifesting through you. And for you not to play big, and so I should say, for you not to play big, for you not to step into that power, claim that power that is here for you is, I'm not going to say it's sinful, but it's almost like it's your duty to step up, because that is the universe calling upon you to play big, to be big. I think what you guys are doing is amazing. I honor you. I am here to support you like so many people in this room today. And I really hope I get a chance to meet every single one of you and learn a little bit more about what it is that you guys are doing in this world, because I am a part of this world, and so I care about it. And I care about you, and blessings. Thank you.